Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of And You Don't Catch 'em. I understand there will be a lot of people that won't really like the concept of this video because of course they do not like anything that antagonizes anybody they support. I'm talking about some guys who believe tribe is the problem of Nigeria, but they are some of the most tribalistic people you'd ever meet. You see them all across Nigeria. You see them across the northern part of Nigeria. You see them across the south, across the western part of Nigeria. We understand. That's the same reason why the current president is still our president. So now, let's talk about this particular story. In this story, we will be talking about Simon Ekpa, or is it Simeon or Simon? I'm not sure. Whatever his name is, and don't catch him. You understand? I'm not just doing this video to look down on someone else or to make it seem as though, oh, I'm happy, he has fallen or what have you. But if you've been in Nigeria or if you've been on Nigerian media space for the period that this guy was actually active, then you'd understand my perspective on this whole situation of Simon Ekpa. So for those who don't know Simon Ekpa was the self-acclaimed, the self-inducted leader of IPOB. Sometimes I call them IPOB because I really don't know how to pronounce it. Is it IPOB or IPOB or what have you? But they are this group of people that are like de facto group of Biafra. They are the ones who want Biafra to come back. If you guys don't know Biafra is the country that the Igbos actually wanted to move to. During the time of the Civil War and what have you. And don't get me wrong. This isn't about Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, or what have you. Whatsoever happened in 1970, I wasn't born then. It's none of my business. But what have you, we have to face the fact there are a lot of people that are using this kind of agenda. That are using the agenda just for self-benefit to enrich themselves. And they are using it to cause tribal war across the country. Some of the remnants is still what you see on Twitter today. That you see a lot of people attack themselves because they are not from the same tribe. But then, when something like this happens, when one of those people who keep pushing the agenda in a very terrible way get arrested to the extent of being sentenced, then you see me making videos like this. So now let's talk about Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa was actually born in Ebonyi State. He was born in Nigeria. He wasn't born in Finland. The way he portrays himself as some black Finnish guy. No, this guy was born in Ebonyi State. He wasn't even born in Lagos. He was born in Ebonyi State. But he has a very strong link with Lagos, which I'll be telling you guys in a while. Simon Ekpa was born in Ebonyi State. We don't know how good educationally he is. We don't know how smart he is. But there is something we can't deny. He was very gifted. When it comes to sport, he was really gifted. So much so, in 2003, he actually won a silver medal for Nigeria. Is it 2003 or 2005? I believe it's one of those years. He won a silver medal for Nigeria. The irony is the fact that the same country this guy ate so much is the same country he actually won a silver medal for. Along the line, I think about 2007, this guy got injured. He had this really bad injury. And you guys know how sports work. The moment you get injured, you probably end your career. Nothing can happen anymore. It doesn't matter if you're Alan or you're Usain Bolt. If you've got a major injury, then you become past news. And that's exactly what happened to Simon Ekpa. He was never able to achieve his dreams to become the top Olympic athlete he always thought he would be. And from that frustration and understanding how Nigeria works, Baba decided to jackpot. He decided to move to Finland. Now, let's talk about his story in Finland. This guy, when he got to Finland, he actually did a lot for himself. He went back to school. He tried to educate himself. He tried to do a lot of things. And he also said he went to law school, which is another problem, another thing he actually said that we'll also be talking about. So far, I said I'll tell you guys his link to Lagos and also what he did in law school. Now, so let's move on. When he got to Finland, he did very well. He was able to make a couple of bucks. I think he got married, was able to raise a family and all that. But later on, by 2021, this guy became very popular on Nigerian social media. The question is, who is Simon Ekpa? That's what everybody was asking back then. Eventually, we later realized he's gonna be the spokesman for IPOB. And he was also, I believe, the same year Nnamdi Kanu got arrested. So after that, he became basically the leader of IPOB. But then his leadership was really bad. The moment he became the leader of IPOB, he was more like a terrorist. He was really terrorizing Nigeria. The worst case scenario this guy actually did was during the time, if you guys have heard about stay at home in the East, where businesses are not allowed to open at a particular day of the week, this guy started enforcing this whole rule multiple times a week. And there was a point when Nnamdi Kanu actually said, no, this isn't acceptable. We're gonna dial it down. I guess maybe he was trying to make a deal with the government to get himself released and what have you, as we all know people like that. Mr. Simon Ekpa said, no. We are not gonna do that. We're gonna make the sit-at-home theory, the sit-at-home rule, way more stiffer. We're going to make people stay at home way more often. I mean, if you understand the Igbo land, most people rely on their business. Business is what makes the Igbos very unique. But Simon Ekpa isn't going to really listen to any Igbo man. His agenda comes first. He even said he's the prime minister of Biafra. So since he's the prime minister, he can actually tell you guys what to do. Eventually, by late 2024, this guy got arrested. And it is the same arrest that has led him to be sentenced, I think, 2 days ago. And now the guy is going to be going to prison for 6 years. So now, let me tell you guys some of the links this guy has with Lagos. I mean, this guy hates Lagos so much. He hates the Yoruba so much. And he believes Biafra shouldn't be part of Nigeria. Basically, the eastern part of Nigeria shouldn't be part of Nigeria. But what if I tell you that as at the time this guy was actually representing Nigeria, he was actually an athlete for Lagos State? I mean, the irony, he was an athlete for Lagos State. And according to stories, this guy, some of his main sponsors were actually people who had strong links with Tinubu. I mean, that's actually another funny one. Now, let's talk about the story. Now, having said that, let's talk about his charges in Finland. This particular man was charged with the following: participating in activities of a terrorist organization. We all know what the terrorist organization is. I don't have to mention that one. Public incitement to commit crimes for terrorist purposes. I mean, this guy comes on Twitter. He comes on X and he says a lot of things. I mean, go on his Twitter page. I'm not going to be posting that here. Go on his Twitter page. Go on Twitter and type Simon Ekpa and you see what I'm talking about. Because everything is still very public and those were some of the things that was used against him. He was also charged with aggravated tax fraud. And the last thing, which I will be talking about more, is the fact that he was charged with violating the Lawyers Act, practicing law without authorization. So basically, let me give you guys a backstory to that. Simon Ekpa has always paraded himself as a barrister in Finland. You know, sometimes it's until hand touches people that you actually know who they are. Simon Ekpa has always portrayed himself as this lawyer in Finland, highly educated and what have you. I believe he's quite educated, to be honest, because he was in the military of Finland and all that. But he also always portrayed himself as highly sophisticated, highly educated and what have you. And his main profession was being a lawyer. Apparently, during the times he was being charged, it was discovered that this guy never actually went to any law school. Basically, he was never a lawyer. The only lawyer he knows was his ex-wife. His ex-wife was basically the lawyer, but then he's portrayed himself as a lawyer and even claimed he's trying to represent people. I personally don't know if he went to court or what have you, but he's portrayed himself as a lawyer for a long time, representing people and what have you. And the Finnish government realized that this guy is just a scammer. So basically, he was charged with this whole thing and he will be going to prison for 6 years. You know, European laws are actually quite very mild. They don't send people to prison like in America. Like, if he had the same cases in America, he's probably going to jail for 30 years. But then, we all know Europe. Soft, nice. That's the reason why people are willing to commit crimes more in Europe. You guys tell me what you think about the story of Simon Ekpa. Do you think he's a good guy who eventually became a political prisoner, or you think he's actually who everybody think he is, which is just another rook, just another 419, and just another con man? I'll see you guys another time. Peace.